Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Will, and today we're going to be doing a brand new video type. There's a lot of these popping up right now. It's going to be somewhat of a WoW versus Final Fantasy controversial video style. If you got problems with what I have to say, mention down in the comment. I love arguing with people. It's a lot of fun. We'll troll the crap out of each other. But it's going to focus not really around anything bad, but really a lot of positive takes you can get out of it. So it's going to focus really heavily around, you'll hear me say it 1,000 times in the video, the nostalgia that you're missing from WoW. So a lot of the things that you miss from classic, old school WoW content, you can get from Final Fantasy. So whether you love the game or not, there's going to be several different aspects we're going to cover in this video. I could go on. I have about 7 different ones I can actually talk about, but I only cover like 3 in the video because I got to keep it somewhat reasonable. But there's a ton of different aspects that can leave you a little more fulfilled. It can kind of fill that void. And especially, let's say you're a hardcore raider, but you miss some aspects of the old game. You can do both. Spend a few days raiding, spend a few days filling that void that's missing in Final Fantasy. Enjoy them both. Do what you want to do. But this is going to help you understand where a lot of Final Fantasy players are coming from in terms of what you can get as a new Final Fantasy player out of the game. So stay tuned. I'm going to jump right into the gate. I am a semi-long time, because a long time WoW player would be like 10 plus years. I started in 2014. Played it quite a bit. I played a lot of Classic. Had a lot of fun with Classic with my friends, things like that. I'm also a long time Final Fantasy in general player. Final Fantasy 14, I started it in the day it launched on PlayStation 3. I played it. All the way through max level. I'm now on PC playing. I stopped playing that for a long time, went back to WoW. And then I've been on back to Final Fantasy now. I've been jumping back and forth, and as we continue through this, you'll understand kind of why I feel the way I do and why I do what I do. But this is not a WoW versus Final Fantasy. Why Final Fantasy is better than WoW, or why WoW is better than Final Fantasy. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, as an MMO, just straight up MMO, WoW is better. It's older, it's more developed, it has more going on. But as an MMORPG, being the skilling and the story and that kind of stuff and the interaction with other players, it is better than WoW. It just is. And that's for 2 reasons, really. I have actually 3 different things I'm going to cover in this video, but 2 of the reasons are why Final Fantasy is a better MMORPG. So the real topic of this video, and it's probably what I'm going to be titling it, is WoW refugees should play Final Fantasy for the nostalgia. Not because it's better, but because you will get that nostalgic feel that you talk about, that big content creators talk about. Asmon, for example, talks about it. Bellular talks about it. People like that talk about this every day in their streams, in their videos, what they miss from WoW, you have in Final Fantasy. Number 1 is going to be character identity. So in the old versions of WoW, even before my time, you had what's called character identity. Your character was known, your character mattered, your character was relevant. Not just the gear they had, but the actual character. People recognized your character. They recognized the name of your character. That's something that died off in WoW so long ago, before I started playing 7.5 years ago, or 7 years ago. And it's an amazing thing. And don't get me wrong, I was not a hardcore WoW player back then. I didn't start playing it really heavily until a little before Classic came out. I got into it a lot, and then I played Classic really heavily. And then I jumped back into retail once I kind of was bored with Classic. So that's just for that kind of thing. So some of these things I'm referencing are older than me. Not older than me as a person. I'm an old gamer. I'm 29 this year, so I'm older than probably the majority of you watching this video. But a big nostalgia block that people are missing, and where you can get that blast of nostalgia back from Final Fantasy, is character identity. Because of twofold. So the way your classes / professions work in Final Fantasy, which are called jobs as a whole, is very different. So in WoW, in order to experience all the things that the game has to offer, in terms of content, in terms of combat, things like that, you have to have one of every class. So you have to have multiple characters trained up to max level. So in the old days, when you only ran one character or maybe 2 characters to get some secondary stuff, Like your one character mattered to you. That was you. That was the embodiment of you. And, to be a weeb about it, that's what it is. Like Asmund Gold literally named his character Asmund. It's him in the game. That's kind of what it's supposed to represent. It's what he would be if he lived in WoW. It's kind of the whole idea. But Final Fantasy is that way, has always been that way because of the difference. In Final Fantasy, one character does every job. You have two versions of jobs. You have what's called Disciple of War, which are your combat classes, and then Disciple of the Hand, which is going to be your gathering and crafting classes. But they all can be done on one character. So similar to how you experience RuneScape if you were ever a RuneScape player, it all can be done with one person. And that allows you to keep that character identity. And that ties into the campaign as well. So the campaign in Final Fantasy, your character is a part of the campaign from the first cutscene. You exist in the cutscenes, characters talk to you, you talk back, you interact with the world, people come to you, they rely on you to help. Like, that's just how the world works. Whereas in WoW, it's been a little different as of late. You are addressed as you exist a little more in the universe than you used to. You used to kind of just be a cameraman, just kind of filming everything as it happens. Whereas now, like, you're a little more existent than you were used to be. You get that experience of like, I matter in this universe. I am a part of this universe. I affect this universe. And because I can do everything in this universe with one character, I have a huge sense of character identity. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of players, this tied with another one, the third point I'm going to make, it ties in with what Bellular said when he mentioned that Final Fantasy players evangelize the game. Because they have that huge sense of identity in the game that their character is their embodiment of them in the video game, in a sense. Similar to how WoW used to be, like, if I was in WoW, this is who I would be. That's how it is in Final Fantasy. If I was in Final Fantasy, this is what I would do. This is what I would be. And that's where, that self-worth, that self-identification comes from in the game. What Final Fantasy still offers and WoW used to offer is that escape to another world. When you log into Final Fantasy, you're in another world. You can do anything you want. You can go fishing, you can go mining, you can go run dungeons, you can go to the Gold Saucer, which is like a casino. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can go to your free company house. So another big difference, and that's a big nostalgia blast for a lot of people. This whole video is all about nostalgia and how to pull nostalgia out of this game that you're missing from WoW. As you can tell, because I've said nostalgia 400 times. Free companies, the same thing as guilds. They work the same way for the most part. But free companies in this game, a good free company, just like there's still good guilds in WoW that give you that same sense of belonging, they really draw people in and they give them that sense of, I'm part of this world and I matter to the other people in this world and the other main characters and the other cast members of this world. I matter. Because in free companies, you can do a lot of cool stuff together. One of them is player housing. So unique to this that you do not get in WoW is player housing. You can actually get your own free company home that your free company owns as a collective, and you can build it, develop it. You can meet up. You can play games in your home. You can do all kinds of stuff. So you can literally have like these mini RP sessions or like these hang sessions that you just don't get in WoW anymore, where you can go hang out, play. Final Fantasy has its own card game. That's like a mini game inside the game. You can collect cards throughout the game. You can buy them. You can trade them, and you can compete with each other and do fun stuff. You can gamble and bet against each other, all kinds of stuff. But you can sit around and do that for hours if you wanted to and just compete against each other and chat and have a good time and just hang out with people that you care about. Like, there's people in, like, just like how it used to be in WoW, there's people in Final Fantasy that are your best friends. Like, you might even consider them in some respects, depending on how well you know them, how long you've been playing with them, like family. Like those really good friends you have in real life that are better family, they're closer to you than your actual family. That still exists in this game. That's still a thing that people have. And it's something that you miss as a WoW player. Like your friends, they leave. They come, they go, they leave. And it's, you get new guild mates and you talk to them a little bit or you don't talk to them at all. Like for the most part, guilds in WoW these days are just, hey, we're going to go raid. Hey, let's go hit our mythics. You just group up and you do stuff. You might chat a little bit before or after, but like it's just not the same. It's gone. Even when I started playing, it was still a lot better. Like you still interacted with each other and things. And yeah, another big difference, the community. Because the community is so ingrained in this togetherness, this, the sense of belonging. Like, the community is very nice to you. You're not going to run through a dungeon and get shit on because it's your first time and you die twice. No, people are going to say, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing. When he does this, make sure you dodge out of the way or make sure you hide behind the boulder or whatever. And all the cutscenes in the game, for the most part, if players recognize that you're a new player, they're going to hang out. They're going to wait. They're going to let you do that stuff and have a good time and experience the game, because it matters. What you do in the game matters, not just how quickly you get to the end game and how fast you can start raiding. In World of Warcraft, you are irrelevant as a player until you are useful in the 3 pillars. If you're not useful in raiding, if you are not useful in PvP, if you are not useful in dungeons, you don't even need to. No one would care if you didn't play the game. And it's not saying that's not true in Final Fantasy. Like, if you're gonna start playing Final Fantasy, people aren't gonna be sad, but people recognize you're a new player and they know the journey you're on, and that they were on that same journey and they want you to have a good time and enjoy it. So they are uplifting. So they actually call you Sprouts in this game. So actually, if you look right here, Princess Julie over there is a Sprout. She has that little leaf on her head, which means that she's a newer player. So, like, as we go through our cutscenes and stuff like that in this game, we're allowing her to enjoy it and have a good time. That little 2-leaf thing means that I'm a new player. And people recognize that and they treat you like a new player. They don't treat you like a imbecile. And it's a big mood shift from WoW. You matter to other players because they know that you are going to have an amazing journey if you enjoy the game. And if they can help you be a part of that amazing journey, they're going to. They'll take the extra 7 or 8 minutes it takes in a dungeon to make sure that you experience all of it. They'll show you where the extra chests are that are irrelevant to them, because now you get to experience the full game. And it's that sense of community, that sense of belonging that's just gone from WoW that you can have again. So, and this list goes on and on. It goes on and on and on, I promise. There's so many things. But I want you to know, if you are a WoW refugee and you hate Final Fantasy because it's not WoW, get over yourself. You are going to get that thing that you are missing, that you wish you had 10 years ago, that you want back, that if Blizzard just brought this back, it would be the unmatched pinnacle of MMOs again. Like, you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have your mythic rating. You can have all your hardcore endgame stuff 2 or 3 or even 4 times a week, or days a week. And then you can spend the other 2 or 3 or 4 days getting the nostalgia back, meeting new people, experiencing a game from the beginning, having other new players play it with you. Because of the free trial, you get to, and it's the whole thing. Have you heard the good word? Final Fantasy has a free trial up to level 60, including the first expansion, Heaven's Ward. Like, that whole thing, you're going to be able to experience the game with tons of new players every day that are just like you, that are, oh, wow, what is this? How does this work? You get to have that experience all the time, and it's going to be amazing. And you can have the nostalgia blast. You can play through 11 years of content for the first time as if it's brand new content today, which you don't get in WoW. It's just gone from WoW. There's reasons why. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing that you can't play through Outlands again, or you can't go through and do Warlords again and have it be of value. They have a different mindset, and that's fine. But if you are feeling like you missed the old days, Final Fantasy has the old days. And it's it's 11 years old now. It's a well-balanced game. All jobs are valuable. All jobs are useful. You can play any job and be successful. You can join any raid team and play any job, and people will take you. You don't have to be a warrior in Classic to be good. You don't have to be a paladin in retail to be good. Like, it's just how it works. You can experience the game any way you want, as many ways as you want, and get the full experience. Just like you could in the old school WoW. You get to play through and be yourself and do what you want to do and not have to worry about, saying hi in a dungeon and having someone tell you to STFU. Like, you can say hi and people go, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hi. Like, you can have conversations, you can go, hey guys, how's your day? And someone's going to say, oh yeah, I'm having a good time, or whatever. People are going to talk to you because people want to interact with you. People want to have a good time in Final Fantasy. I feel like it's gotten to the point where when it comes to WoW, people are so used to being mad at WoW, they just want to be mad at it. They want to keep being mad at it because why not? Like, it's people want to love it. They want it to be the best. They want it to be like it used to be, but they know it's not, and it's not going to be anytime soon. So they are just mad at it. Whereas in Final Fantasy, it's the complete opposite. They have full faith in the developers. Developers have continued to be amazing and do amazing work. And they have faith. They have high hopes for each expansion, for the future, for everything that's coming and going. And just like you did when you started playing WoW, and you went from Classic to BC to Wrath, and it's like, this is just better and better and better, and like it's never going to stop, and you're on a high every day. And like, you get that. You get 11 years of that, and you continue to get it. Endwalker, I haven't even played Endwalker yet. I've seen a lot of content in it. I guarantee you it's going to be amazing. You want to know why? Because it's all been amazing. And you can have it again. You can have all the nostalgia you miss, and you can still have WoW. You can have them both. Do them both. Like, you don't have to pick one or the other. It doesn't have to be one wins the other. This is not Highlander. There can be only one. No. You can have the story, the experience, the character value, and then you can also have the hardcore great stuff. So, this has been my rant. One final hot take. This is no more a weeb game than WoW is. I'm going to tell you right now, if you play WoW, you play a non-human, or you play not your gender, you are a full-on weeb. That's how it works. That's how a weeb works. It's just what it is. I know the real definition of weeb is someone who enjoys Japanese culture but isn't Japanese. But like, weeb is the new nerd. You can be a Pokemon nerd, you can be a Final Fantasy nerd, you can be an anime nerd, you can be any kind of nerd you want, or any kind of weeb you want. I mean, not nerd, weeb. And WoW is no different. There's no difference in you picking an orc or a Pandaren or a Tauren than there is you picking a cat girl or a Viera or any class that's not human. If you play a non-human character, you're a full-on weeb. Embrace it. Try the game. That'll be it for the video. It still ended up being 17 freaking minutes long. I can't make it any shorter. And there's like 2 other topics I'm not even covering because this video would be a half hour if I kept doing it. I kept trimming this video down over and over and over. My last video was actually even shorter, but I lost all the audio like a dum-dum. So we're at 17 minutes, almost 18. And this was a new type of content for me. I usually do how-tos or I live stream. So if you like it, let me know. If you hate me and I'm a stupid idiot, I don't know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. And I didn't steal peace from Asmon, by the way. I've been doing that forever in my life. It sucks because it looks like I'm copying him, and I'm not. And it's a bummer. I'm going to keep doing it, though. Peace.